Good morning, friends. This morning quote is what you do make a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. Friends, in our life, everybody has to do something for himself, for the society, for the nation, for his community, for his people, but he has to decide what actually change or what difference he wants to make. From time immemorial, we have witnessed that all kinds of revolutions have resulted into change in the society. Rajaram Mohan Roy, abolished Sati Pratha. It was not an easy task that time, but he made a change. He decided that this practice in the society must go. In the similar manner, the freedom fighters fought for the freedom of the nation. They sacrificed their life. So they brought a change in the scenario, and they gave freedom to the people of our country. So that that freedom struggle was meant not for an individual, it was meant for the entire nation. Today we are enjoying the freedom of expression, the freedom of doing anything and expressing our thought is the result of the sacrifice of our martyrs. The people, you know, several thousand, several lakhs, several, millions of people sacrificed their life to bring India to the sovereign. Today we are exercising our right to, freedom. It is only the result of the changes that the people of our country, our martyrs, our custodians brought about. So, what kind of change a person wants to make, he has to decide. There are people who only self-centered. They don't think about the society. If one person is being suppressed, they remain quiet and calm. They said that it is not my duty. See, when untouchability was in the country, everybody fought against this because this was an ill practice. Now there is no untouchability in the society. There is a fairness, there is a fair treatment. Everybody is treated equally, dignified. So this change came only when the people are realized, they acknowledge the ills. So it is very important that when you decide to bring a change, of course, change has to be brought because change is the way of life. If there is anything wrong prevailing in the society, it requires change. In the system of education, there is a need of reform. In the system of examination, there is a need of reform. Some educationists have to come forward and make that reformative change in education and in the examination system, which has ruined the career of many millions of the youth in India. So the examination reform is the change that is very much urgently required in the society. Somehow, some educationists, some individuals, or some intellectuals must come forward to make a change. In the similar manner, if we have to see, every one of us has to make a change. If a child has studied up to engineering, he has taken an engineering degree, he's a graduate engineer, and if he doesn't get an employment and doesn't bring a change in his economic status, his education is useless. In the similar manner, if one has been given this beautiful life, one has to bring a change in and around him. Bringing a change in oneself is the prime work. Then bringing a change around you, means in the society. The society needs your contribution in bringing out a change in the living standard of the people. Where India is also working, there is no doubt that India has worked very hard. The people of India have really contributed a lot. All the technocrats, all the people have worked hard. The economists have worked hard. Now India's economic condition is becoming better and better day by day, no doubt. But at the same time, there are some irregularities, there are some fallacies which needs to be removed, and reformation has to take place. every person has an important every person has an impact on this world every day, and choosing that impact means deciding between kindness, sustainability, and positive change. For example, now we are very much affected by the climatic change. The biodiversity of the earth is being interrupted by human activities as well as the activities on the earth. So now the environmental disaster has become very common. Many of the countries are witnessing, there is a fire in the forest. Because of extreme heat, fire has taken place. There is, landslides on the hilly areas. There are floods in many parts of our country. These are all the results of imbalance in the nature. So, if there is a climatic change, it is our duty to really understand that how we can create sustainability in our life. If our life has no sustainability, if the environment is not sustainable, then not only the present generation will suffer, the future generation will badly suffer. Therefore, friends, we need to have a change. We have to observe the changes in and around the world. Now, the world, there is a chaos in the world. It is not India that witnessing chaos. The entire world is facing a chaos. There are, revolution, there are violence, there are cases of many sorts of ills going on in and around the world. The war between Iran and USA, and Israel and Hamas. These all are the ills that going on, and these have impact on our life. You cannot say that the war in US and Ukraine cannot have impact on us. We have serious impact. Every country has an impact on the war between Iran and USA. The crude oil is now not being or not coming or not getting exported easily. There are a lot of hurdles in the shipping of these, crude oil. So these are all the, things. We have to think about the sustainability of this ecosystem and the positive change. See, we never recommend a negative change in the society. If the society gets, divided on any issue, this is bad. We have to create a positive change that every one of us should understand one another. Understanding one another is a positive impact. Helping one another is a positive impact. Helping the nation is also a positive impact, because of the nation. We cannot really harm the nation. At any cost, we have to protect and defend the nation, because nation is our priority. We have really got this freedom and this, sovereign after a lot of struggle. We cannot allow our nation to be at a stake. But at the same time, if there is any irregularity, if there is any reform required in any system, whether it is examination system or education system, it has to be done. And for that, some educationist has to come forward and work for that. So it is important to work for that change, that positive change. Now, daily choices and impact. We, particularly the students, should make daily choices. What is his choice today? What he's going to do, whether he's going to do physics today, whether he's going to complete at least 2 chapters in physics, solve all the numericals, or whether he's going to do English today. What he will do, he has to make a choice. So every choice we make, like how we treat a neighbor, how we spend our money, shape the world. See, it is our duty to contribute our skill and knowledge in the positive change of this nation. What positive change it is there? If there is any discrimination, if we are discriminating any one of our fellow being, any our fellow citizen on the basis of any sort of, traditional concept, we have to remove that, and we have to come together. We have to think together and the interest of the common masses should be taken into account. The you see the 140 or 145 crores of the people are actually our responsibility. We are not going to think about one part of the population. We are going to think about the progress should be of each and every citizen, and therefore the change that we are deciding has to be in the interest of the nation, in the interest of our people, the common masses. If any part of the population is suffering, it is our duty to bring it to the streamline, to the lifeline, and to the mainstream. Therefore, friends, everyone has to take a decision, but that decision should be taken very cautiously. No decision should be detrimental to the society, to your community, to your people, to your citizens. I don't believe that if there is any harm to any single human being on this earth, that is not a change. This kind of change is not recommended. Bring a change that should suit everyone, that should benefit each and every, even the last man on the last corner of this nation should be is satisfied with that change. No action is neutral. Doing nothing still sets an example and leaves an impression on your community. But doing something for your community, your people, your nation. See, let us prioritize. Nation is our priority. Then comes the society. So once you think about how you can help the people have a equal growth, sustainable growth, the sustainable growth will be possible only when there is no discrimination. In the similar manner, environment of where we are living, that also requires sustainability. If we are cutting down the forest and destroying the greenery, now the present generation is going to suffer, but the future generation will blame us and we'll have nothing to survive. Survival of the future generation depends entirely on the sustainability of the environment. The friends, any action we are taking, any change we are thinking of must be taken into account with the purpose. There should be a purpose in change. Choosing a purpose. If you are bringing a change without a purpose, I don't think it is a change. And values of life must be taken into account while you are deciding to have a change. If you decide that you want your life or you want the people's life to be changed, then focus on helping your fellow friends, human being, animals, protecting nature, and supporting the people who are underprivileged. Opportunity must be equal to everybody. If you are not giving opportunity to each and every citizen of the country, how will you expect the holistic development of the nation? The healthy development of the nation is possible only when each one of us is given equal opportunity. So protecting animal and protecting the nature and also protecting our the right of the common people, supporting other people is also our duty, and it is also a purpose, and that is the first step in bringing out a change in our life. Leading with hope. See, we should not be hopeless. Things are going adverse, no doubt. There are situations that things do not go in our favor. But does it mean that we should not try to bring a change? No. We should try, we should strive for a change. The real change grows when we act with a clear and caring goal in mind. There should be a clear goal that what for you are fighting. Is this a struggle for the well-being of a larger community or not? So, if it is for a larger community, your struggle is justified. And friends, that even the government has to really be polite and humble, and has to think that the people of the nation requires some reform. See, the youth who are the key, human resources, they are not satisfied. Somewhere there is a paper leak, somewhere there is defects in examination system, somewhere there is educational fallacy. Now these youth are suffering. If the youth of the nation will suffer, the nation will suffer. So the government, I just make a sincere request to the government, please reform the exam system, reform the education system, and make our youth take the advantage of the beautiful examination system that you are going to set, from where they will really grow. They need a job. If an educated youth needs a job, he has his family, his parents have spent a lot on his education. Now, if that person remains unemployed, then how will his family survive? Every human being needs economic support, and unless and until a youth, educated youth, gets a job, appropriate job in his own country, then I think there is no meaning of development. You shout that India is developing, India has done a lot of things, but there is no meaning of this. I mean, magnification and that exaggeration of that development, unless and until the common man, the poorest of the poor, is employed. Students are educated. They have already appeared in several competitive exams, and some of the exams have been cancelled. Some of the results have been cancelled. Some of the exams have been leaked out. All these have a serious consequences on the career of the youth. So the government must take cognizance of all these things, because it is the duty of the government to reform the examination system and to reform the education system. We are actually not blaming all the time. We are also appreciating that if any good work is being done by the government, we appreciate. Now, in this larger community, the larger community of the youth, really they are looking forward to the planning of the government. The government must take a priority. Now, the education has to be given the priority. Government has never given priority to education. So how can we bring a change in our life and condition, in our economic condition, if the government has not given priority to only 3% and 4% and 5% of the total budget is being allocated for education, whereas education is the backbone of the nation? Why can't 20%, 30% of the budget, annual budget, being allocated to education? The development of the human resources is the priority. If the human resources suffer, the nation will suffer. Today, bulk of the youth, a larger community, they are suffering. They are not getting job, and even if they are getting job, that is a job of the corporate sector where they are not satisfied. They have to work 12 hours and their salary is meager 50 or 40,000. A common engineering graduate is getting only 50,000, and IITian is getting 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs per month, 5 lakhs per month. Crores of salary. Why? Why is this kind of discrimination? So the change is required. If the same engineering degree is from NIT and any engineering college, and the same degree is from IIT, then why we are giving more importance to IIT and giving more package? Skill is there. Everybody is equally skilled. IITians are not having a different syllabus. All engineering graduates have the same syllabus. Why they are given 50,000 per month, which is a meager salary? Nowadays, in 50,000 per month, nobody can survive. So this is the biggest, injustice. We have to reform the system. We have to make each and every engineering college and medical college equally capable and equally upgraded, so that there should be no discrimination in the salary. Why one engineer gets 5 lakhs per month and another gets 50,000? Why this discrimination? This requires a change. This requires a reformation. This requires a change in the standard of teaching, learning scenario, and the skill development of the youth. That has to be the priority. And unless and until we think about it, who will think? Government alone cannot think. We all have to contribute. We must give suggestions to the Department of Human Resource, Department of Education, that technical education must be made equally skilled and competent in each and every technical college, whether it is in the rural area or whether it is in urban area. It should be equipped with equal facilities, equal infrastructure. Then only the development will be holistic. Thank you. Have a nice day. This is Eddie Singh on the channel Is English by Edison.